welcome to this week's episode of GameWare Weekly, a show that we stream on Fridays, release on Sundays for things that you probably heard about on Mondays. I am in a really good mood starting this morning because I got my Jotnar edition for God of War. I spent all morning since 9 o'clock refreshing and everything, doing it, getting ready, and I fucking got it, yo, and I cannot wait. Sold out pretty much everywhere, so that's super exciting. Anyway, if you guys have never joined us here before, this is a gaming news show where we talk about all the things that have come out this last week, which if you follow game news, you have probably heard them before, but it's more of just a recap to see what else is going on in the gaming news world. So that's the most exciting news today is the Jotnar edition. It's out. It's been, pre-orders went up today for God of War, comes out November 9th, and I cannot fucking wait. So, yeah, we'll see if we do an unboxing for it. Probably not, because I will be balls deep playing that game from the moment that I wake up on November 9th. Anyway, guys, we're just going to jump right into the stories. I have 13 stories for you today. One of these days, I will probably think of a new way to intro this show and give you more things to look forward to. I don't have, any housekeeping or anything of that sort, because I just kind of wing it week to week. And for some reason, I still get a little nervous coming live on here for you all. But anyway, let's start out with story number 1. Now, keep in mind, if you are out there and you want to chime in at any point, you can either type it in the chat, or if you are a mutual friend with me on Discord, just shoot me a quick message and I will bring you into the show and we can talk about that topic specifically. And I try to rotate people in and out. All right, here we go. So, story number 1. This comes from Eurogamer. This was up all week. This was posted on July 10th, but this came out at the beginning of the week. The Last of Us Part 1 Remake is not a cash grab, says developer. This news article comes from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer. A developer who worked on Naughty Dog's upcoming PS5 remake of The Last of Us Part 1 has hit back at claims it's just a cash grab. In a tweet on his personal Twitter account, Robert Morrison, whose credits also include Resident Evil 7, Injustice 2, and Santa Monica Studios' 2018 God of War reboot, countered such claims by insisting it is the most meticulously built and crafted project that's had the highest level of care and attention to detail possible. Animator Morrison, who worked on The Last of Us Part 1 and now works at a fellow Sony studio, Bend, said, "Actually, it's the most meticulously built and crafted project that I have ever seen or been part of in my entire career. The highest level of care and attention to detail possible." The tweet has kicked off a range of responses, both of support and dissent, in the comments, with some insisting there's already a remaster and online is not finished yet for The Last of Us 2, and others stating it'll be as Naughty Dog originally imagined it because of the advancements in game-making technology, and no one is being forced to buy it. A fan-made video focusing on 2013's Last of Us highlights some of the most impressive details hidden within the game that many may have missed. Ahead of The Last of Us Part 1's release for PS5 and eventually PC, content creator Specializer has revisited the first game in Naughty Dog's post-apocalyptic world. Specializer, along with other members of the Naughty Dog's modding Discord server, discovered the huge scrapped multiplayer map in The Last of Us Part 2. Spoke to Eurogamer about their passion for the series. "Since the day the game was released in 2013, I've been hooked. There's nothing like it at the time and still to this day. There's no other game I've loved as much as Last of Us," they said. I also don't believe that it's a cash grab. I really don't. And the reason I say that is I know that a lot of the discourse is that people are going to have to spend $70 on a remake of a game that's been out for only 10 years. A PS4 remaster of it is there, and that they can go get it for cheaper anywhere else. Now, it's the same type of argument that you can always have with a lot of remasters, remakes, or anything of the sort. If you want to play the original game still, go ahead. They're not forcing you to buy it. They're not going to do anything to make you buy it. But with The Last of Us show coming out on HBO next year, this is a perfect opportunity. And I think that gaming has a great opportunity within it to always give us these games that mean so much to us. The nostalgia or the legacy of games that you get, it kind of just disappears. And what I mean by that is not that you don't have access to play these games still if you hold on to your systems or you hold on to those games and you can still go back and play them, but why not? I guess I don't personally. anyway, see the downside of remaking a whole game. Resident Evil 2 was a great example of it, and I know that's a much older game. Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy 7, and I know those games came out on PlayStation 1 and 2, and they're much older, and an update to all of it was completely necessary. And maybe it wasn't completely necessary for The Last of Us, which is a game I have played several times over the last 10 years. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've played it. But to see it get the love and care that The Last of Us Part 2 had when it came to graphical fidelity and just gameplay mechanics and all that, and I can't wait to see what the gameplay mechanics are differed in this one as opposed to the original remaster and the original. We could say it's a cash grab all we want, but if you think that, don't buy it. Like, that's what it always comes down to. It's like, if you don't like a thing, don't watch it, right? I don't see what the biggest deal is for that. I cannot wait for this remake. Do I think it was necessary to do it? No, because Last of Us 1, like the original, still holds up extremely well. But after playing The Last of Us Part 2, definitely there's that bit where it's like, all right, like, I could see this being updated, and again, I just don't see the issue with it. Because it's not like they're taking resources from another Naughty Dog game and going into that one. Most of the things that you read about the development was where this started, and it's not even Naughty Dog making it. It was a different part of Sony Studios. I can't remember exactly which studio is making it. I'd have to find that. But like, they worked with Naughty Dog to do it. So the idea behind that is, like, Naughty Dog is still working on The Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer that we're going to get, factions, if that's what it's going to be called. So, and that's going to be huge when it comes out. So, again, I don't personally think it's a cash grab. I can definitely understand why people are upset about it to a point, but at the same time, you know, like, you don't have to do it. That's the biggest thing. And as much as you might want, and if you want to, then go for it. Games cost a lot of money to make. We know that, especially on the Sony end of things. Games like God of War, Last of Us, Spider-Man, these are expensive. And the fact that we haven't had a serious price increase in gaming in general over the last how many years is crazy. Games were $60 from the PlayStation 3 and on. They were $50 on the PlayStation 2. I believe they were $50 on the PlayStation 1. I don't remember because I was too young and I didn't purchase them myself. But that's just what it comes down to, I personally think. Right, Shane. Yeah, like, I hear you. I'm reading your comment here. Shane, why don't you let's pop you in here. Let's pop you in here. I'll talk to you about this one really quick. Let's do this here. Let me get you in here. All right. I'm gonna shoot you this call. Okay. Hold on a second. You there, Shane?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You got your camera up there?
Uh, I do have a camera, but no shirt on. My bad. Let me continue talking. Let me go get a shirt on.
Okay, well, anyway, while we wait for Shane to put a shirt on here, basically, it's just, I mean, I guess my point was already kind of made, so that's why I wanted to bring you in to hear what you had to say. So we'll give him a quick second here. But Last of Us 1 is such a meaningful game to me. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time. And I guess that's part of the reason I'm super excited for it. I don't have an issue with any games being remade. I just love to see that. I could go back and play the original, but to get the newer one just sounds incredible. Well, while he's doing that, maybe I'll just try to share this one more time around to get people in. Show's going, people. There he is. Hey, Shane, what's going on, buddy?
It's going. I definitely threw this together. It very much confused me that I needed to put a shirt on. But I am good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Apparently I'm getting an echo now because I'm on the Discord call as well. So give me 1 second here while I figure out what to do about that. I'm going to try.
Oh, yeah. No echo on my end the whole time. Give me 1 second. Let me mute you over here and then turn you on over here. All right. No, they apparently cannot hear you on your end.
Hey, let me try this then. Maybe I can. Well, if I mute myself here, then you're not going to be able to hear me. I don't know how to fucking do this.
This is IT at its finest.
Yeah, right. Well, here, I mean, there might be a little bit of echo until I figure out exactly how to do this, people. But I'm gonna let Shane talk here real quick. Shane, tell me what you think about. What do you think about this, and why you think it might be a cash grab? I saw your comment, so go ahead.
Okay, so of course, in the comment through the chat, which you have to be here for, you need to be here to watch it and read the comments as is. But I do believe that this could have just been an update. It could have just been a side thing with a high-res pack. And that's why I do feel as though that this might be a bit of a cash grab, but they have every single right to do it this way. There's plenty of reasons why nobody would be happy with I don't know, this is probably going to be like another 50 to 60 gig update just on resolution packs alone, which is why they needed to have its own from the ground up rework. But I do believe that they have every single right to do this because it takes a lot of time and money to actually go in and do this.
Well, and do keep in mind, and I don't know if you're aware of this, which I know some people aren't when I read comments, that this isn't just an up-res. They remade the game, like, completely, like, from the ground up. So it's not like they just went in and took the, you know, the same things that they did with the remaster and up-res the graphics. They literally just started over from scratch and made a new game.
I think that's the reason why I do find it a little bit, feeling weird on the subject, because the way that it's made and the way that it's marketed, it does feel as though that this cash grab or whatnot isn't an actual from the ground up rebuild. It is a reskin, and you can tell. I'm not even sure what was that interview that the main voice actors had.
Troy Baker and Ashley Birch?
Yes.
Ashley Johnson. Ashley Birch is
Oh,
the
yeah.
boy.
Yeah. But they also didn't know what they were looking at. And I think that's really where a lot of the confusion came in, because not only were they not really informed, but us as a consumer wasn't really informed that this was a full-on rebuilt from the ground up, and a lot of people that bring it up on their news stories don't really even post it on there that it is from the ground up.
Yeah, I guess when you the people that I listen to for sure, like Kind of Funny is really who I get most of my news from. They try to emphasize that for sure, and I can see your point where people aren't saying that because, like, again, if you go into comments of a lot of these things, there is that, right? People are just like, why do we need this? Sorry, on my Discord here, not on the stream. It seems like everything's going like fucking wild right now. It's just like,
oh no, the stream's fine.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, and I think that's one of the biggest issues with it. Where that's where like I wanted to bring it up here for sure was like it's not like they just remade the game completely, just like Resident Evil 2 or Final Fantasy 7. It's not like they took the Final Fantasy 7 polygons and just up-res the right? So, like, and again, I know a lot of people are like, we don't need that. It's like, that's fine if you don't think that we need it, but why the fuck not? Like, I'm sorry, I'll still stand by that. I'll even be that person that says, God of War came out in 2018, right? Remake it.
Oh, yeah.
Make it better. I don't give a shit. But I guess that's also just where my love for this game specifically, so I definitely have that fanboy aspect to it. They could remake this game in another 5 years from the ground up, and I'd be like, yeah, dope, let's go. Let's do it again.
Well, I know I need to send you this later because this is absolutely amazing. Somebody went ahead and remade like their own little section of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time in the Unreal 5
I've
engine.
seen this, yes.
You've seen this? The one where he's like in Zora's domain?
Yes, I watched it yesterday, actually.
Well, see, I'm going to suggest, throwing that in as the same difference. Like, we have made a huge, huge jump in technology between Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. So they do have every right to say, oh, well, hey, look, like, we built this from the ground up and it looks freaking fantastic. And when they showed it, it looked freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It's just also on top of bad explanations.
And unfortunately, stuff like that is going to get shut down by Nintendo because they don't like that shit when people remake their games. I mean, Ocarina of Time is a great example, right? We could use a remake of that game. Nintendo will never do it. They'll never do it. They don't do that type of stuff because Nintendo makes weird decisions, and there's a reason why I don't have Twilight Princess on my fucking Switch right now, and that pisses me off like crazy because that's all I want. But we can move on from that story because I know we could probably talk about this one like crazy. So Shane, by all means, stick around here. I'm going to switch back to my main camera here.
I sure can.
I hope that there's still not an echo here, but I'm going to do a couple things here real quick.
I'm going to mooch you in Discord and check it on the browser end, see what we got.
Turn off camera here and activate camera over here. I had to figure out how to do this earlier, and then I promise for everybody who's watching, I will figure out this echo later. So let's move on to the next story here, everybody. And again, Shane, go ahead and chime in at any point. But the next story comes from The Gamer. Nomura hints that Red 13 will be playable in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think if I do this, I don't know if that gets rid of the echo or not. So, the Lion Wolf character will return in Rebirth, and it seems players will finally be able to control him. This comes from Luhai Liang. This was published 5 days ago. Final Fantasy Rebirth will be the follow-up to Final Fantasy VII Remake in a planned trilogy. And its producer, I'm going to get these names right one of these days. Yoshinori Kitase, and creative director Tetsuya Nomura, I can't speak today at all, I'm so sorry, have been giving rounds of interviews revealing more details that we're still gathering. One of them is about Red 13, the red dog that you get to play as in Final Fantasy, who is one of the most memorable characters in the Final Fantasy series, since he is the only playable quadrupedal character so far. Although Final Fantasy X's Kimari Ronso, oh my god, it's Kimari, yeah, duh, wow, shares a passing resemblance, Red 13 is more beastly creation, and Nomura is credited as his designer, as he's designed like everybody. In an interview with Japanese publication Dengeki Online, it has been confirmed that Red 13 will make a playable return in Final Fantasy VII. In the article, the interviewer says, in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Red 13 is also expected to be a playable character, which if you played Final Fantasy VII, he was not. He was just part of your party, and you can play as him. So expectations are high for this as well. To which Nomura replies, please look... Oh, fuck, shit! Sorry. Please look forward to it, and thus confirming the character's playable status and inclusion in the forthcoming Rebirth. Elsewhere, Nomura is asked whether the 3D models of main characters such as Cloud and Barret have changed from Remake to Rebirth. Nomura says he doesn't think anything has changed, but a character from a DLC has been. Yuffie's model has been tweaked from Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, and some of the characters have been adjusted. Nomura said suggesting others could have the new 3D models in this follow-up. So that's super exciting. And the biggest reason I say that is because of... I mean, you guys probably get from everything I've talked about the past couple weeks on this show is that Final Fantasy VII Remake is one of my favorite games that I've ever played. Red 13 is one of my most favorite characters from the original series, and when he shows up at the end of 7 Remake, it's awesome, but you don't get to play as him. He looks like he's got all of his movesets, he's got all the animations, he plays with you as basically like a guest character throughout it, and I was hoping to play as him, but I understood why. Moving that to the next one, just because they wanted to focus on the people that you had in the party, and I'm sure development time was kind of, they didn't want to spend the time to make all this stuff playable for the character at that time, so, but that's a really awesome one. Shane, do you have any thoughts about Final Fantasy VII Remake? Have you played it at all?
Sadly, I have not.
Then we will move on.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. You're just delayed. All right. So we'll just move on to the next story then, which is another Final Fantasy VII one. So I'll make this one quick, and then we can move on from there. This next one comes from Gaming Bolt. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is exclusive to PS5 because of its vast world. The last couple of years have seen Final Fantasy reverting back to being exclusive to PlayStation, at least where its mainline games are concerned. And though Final Fantasy VII Remake did eventually end up coming to PC, its sequel, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, is going to be exclusive to PlayStation again. However, where the majority of the new releases are opting to take the cross-gen route, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will launch exclusively for the PS5. Why is that? Speaking recently to Gamer, translation via Gamatsu, when asked about the same, the game's producer, Kitase, is what I'm going to say, who also co-directed its predecessor, explained that in addition to the game's graphical fidelity, its vast open world, which is awesome, is another reason for it skipping the PS4, in order to avoid the bottleneck the PS4's hardware would have brought about and development complications it would have posed. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is being made exclusively for PS5. Kitase also mentioned that current-gen console SSD and the purpose it will serve. It's exclusive to PlayStation 5 because of the graphical quality, of course, as well as SSD access speed, Kitase said. Since the adventure unfolds in a vast world after the escape from Midgar, loading stress is an extreme bottleneck. We felt we needed the specifications of PlayStation 5 to overcome that and travel the world comfortably. Interestingly, this isn't the first time that the size of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's world has been brought up. Last year, director Naoki Hamaguchi, nailed it, I hope, the game that would allow players to explore the world map and feature gameplay that would leverage the vastness of the world. Whether that means it'll be an open world game hasn't been explicitly confirmed yet, though. It sure sounds like it. Either way, none of the locations from the original Final Fantasy VII are going to be cut or shortened, so fans don't have to worry on that front. I believe that, I still want Final Fantasy VII to go to other platforms. I want it to be on Xbox Series X. I want it to be on PC. I want everybody to be able to experience one of the greatest video games of all time, and I believe that that continues with it being on current gen and the old gen. Like, I do. I think it's one of the most fun games I've ever had the opportunity of playing. And the fact that they needed the SSD it makes sense, because that was something that a lot of people have been upset about when it comes to like Horizon Forbidden West and even God of War Ragnarok. And I say a lot of people, but like it's a split. The reason is that everybody wants next gen or new gen right now, right? They want those games specifically made for that hardware, which is what Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be. As opposed to getting the cross-gen where you have the limitations of that 7, almost 8-year-old hardware and on the PlayStation 5, and people seem to think, well, for good reason, that means that the limitations are still there. So you get graphical updates, you get 60 frames, 120 frames on the later platforms, but you don't get to have this game built from the ground up for these newer systems, which I understand why some people would be upset about that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth doing that is awesome. I don't believe that they have switched to Unreal 5. I think it's still being made in Unreal 4, but Unreal 4 still looks fantastic. With things like God of War Ragnarok coming out on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, they clearly know that they can make the game with what they want, so it's just a matter of time before everything will shift, and it sucks because you also don't want to do that all the time because of how many. There's over 100 million PlayStation 4s out there, and I don't know the number on like Xboxes, but the same thing can be said for that. So you want to sell to them as well. So when you only do it for the PlayStation 5, you lose a lot of your audience because people still can't get a hold of them. All right. Let's move on to our next one, and then this one will be pretty quick as well, because they also had a obviously I picked this up because it's stuff you probably heard about on Monday, which this did come out on Monday. Ubisoft says Steam DLC removal is a misunderstanding. So if you guys heard about at the beginning of the week that Ubisoft was going to be pulling like DLC and games fully from Steam, even if you paid for them, you weren't going to be able to play them or download them again after a certain amount of time. So I'll read the article here. This one comes from Forbes, from Paul Tassi. We'll go with the original article here first. What many gamers long feared about the digital download age is upon us. We also talked about this last week. At least to a minor extent, a number of Ubisoft games and DLCs are no longer for sale on Steam, and there are notices going up that the content itself will no longer be accessible as of September 1st. Yes, even if you bought it outright. One of the most prominent examples is the entirety of Assassin's Creed Liberation, one of the only female-led Assassin's Creed games, unless you count Odyssey and Valhalla, because the canon characters are female. Which was only recently on sale on Steam for 75% off. But players are now being told that purchases will effectively be deleted in less than 2 months. While Liberation is still available as part of an AC3 bundle, that would require players to purchase another game to get the game that was just taken from them that they'd already bought. While this is not the first time that this has ever happened, this is probably the highest profile example we've seen with a developer and a recognizable game series. Additionally complicated is the fact that Ubisoft apparently greenlit a sale of Liberation days ago when they clearly knew it would be inaccessible for a short while after, hence the new very negative review barrage on Steam. No word yet on if players will be compensated in any way. But then let's just go into the misunderstanding. The update, Ubisoft in a statement to IGN says that this is a misunderstanding and the storefront information is wrong. As stated in our support article, only DLCs and online features will be affected by the upcoming decommissioning. Current owners of those games will still be able to access, play, or re-download them. Our teams are working with our partners to update this information across all storefronts and are also accessing all available options for players who will be impacted when these games' online services are decommissioned on September 1st, 2022. It has always been our intention to do everything in our power to allow those legacy titles to remain available in the best possible conditions for players, and this is what we are working towards. Like I said, we talked about it a little bit last week when it came to everything, and this type of stuff is always a matter of time, and I'm happy that Ubisoft came out and explained what they meant and that we'll still be able to get these games and still be able to play them, but it comes down to the fact that these digital games, and I mean any games these days, just like movies, right, being streamed, it's an inevitable thing that you may not have access to that game, whether you have it digitally or physically. I even had to Google this early in the week after this article came up about, because I've always made the statement to a couple of my friends before about even on the disc that you get when you buy a physical game, there is no data on that disc that gets it. It basically is just an access code for you to go download it online. That is true. I found that out, that there is no actual data on a PlayStation 4 or 5 disc for the most part on this. I believe there might be some of them, but from my 10-minute Google search, that's what I found, and it's terrifying because something like this could happen at any time. I mean, hell, something could just go wrong with the servers, and yes, you have it downloaded on your SSD, but with an internet update, it could potentially just be gone, and you couldn't get it anymore, and it's horrifying to think about, the fact that you paid for this product and it could disappear. You know, I've worked for, you could say the tech industry in a bit, and I always have to tell customers that, like, as long as you paid for it, you will always have access to that. That's the laws. That's the way it goes. But things could happen, and they could just be like, you don't get that anymore. Whether they meant to or not, because clearly somebody just kind of messed up with the proper wording about this in general, and it sucks for that. So I'm happy that they retracted it. I'm happy people get to still be able to play these games. I'm never going to tell you to just go buy another version of it, even though it is available on so many different types of platforms that you can get this game anywhere, or any of these games, but it's going to happen eventually. And this is why things like even Game Pass being the best value in gaming, remember, you don't own those games. So when they disappear, you don't own them, just like Netflix. You don't own those movies. They're just there for you to watch. Okay, let's move on. And Shane, I don't know if you're a Skyrim person or if anybody out there wants to talk about Skyrim here in just a second. By all means, shoot me a message, but this next one is super exciting and I want to try this out. This article comes from Rock Paper Shotgun. Skyrim's Revamped Co-Op Mod has been downloaded almost 60,000 times in just 3 days. Oh, you're not? Okay. Can support more players than a clown car can fit clowns. The Revamped Co-Op Mod for Bethesda's classic fantasy RPG, The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, only launched on last Friday, but it's already been downloaded more than 59,000 times. The past 3 days have been very kind to Skyrim Together Reborn, which has been put together by mostly student modders in their spare time. They even made a video guide on how to install, create a server, and start playing with your Dragonborn mates, which you can watch down below. Creators Together team says their focus is to create a co-op-like experience for about 2 to 8 players, not an MMO, but we have tested with 30 plus players. 30 players! I was going to make a pithy comment that it's the gaming equivalent of a clown car, but apparently they can only fit between 14 and 21 clowns inside. I used to be a clown, then I took a custard pie in the knee. Ugh. As I said on Friday, it's recommended that one player acts as the party leader to host a Together Reborn session, due to limitations of how the mod works. Only the party leader can talk with NPCs to move quests on, and nobody else can loot quest items. Other players can happily do away with monsters and bosses, complete quest-related puzzles, and investigate dungeons. But Together Team recommends saving frequently. So that's fantastic. Shane, if you're out there, come on in, since you says you have something to bring up. But this sounds awesome, and this is something that my friends and I talked about before ESO ever came out. And I want to try this really bad for sure. Shane, if you do come on in, I'm just going to leave it as is for right now, since the echo was kind of annoying. So, but yeah, you out there? I gotta switch that again. I can hear you.
All right, if I have a bit of a delay, then it's gonna take me some time.
Go ahead. You might want to unmute me on the Discord part of it then.
So, this would actually get me... How do I do that? You're gone for me now.
What's that? Well, you have to go into the actual Discord and talk to me through there, is what you're going to want to do. As opposed to listening to the stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem, because apparently you're gone.
I'm gone?
Well, I'm still in the call, but you're gone. I don't know how that happened.
What do you mean?
Oh, there it goes.
Okay. We good?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, perfect, because I don't want to have to edit this, dude.
Yeah, I know. I completely understand.
Okay, please, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. All right, so this would actually get me to play Skyrim. Definitely don't tell any of my friends this yet, because they were super excited about this, because I still have, like, a lot of stuff to do. But if they suggested multiplayer Skyrim as is and not Elder Scrolls Online, because blah that, just regular Skyrim with the bros, I would actually finally pick up Skyrim.
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, that's essentially what this is doing, right? I mean, I talked to a bunch of my friends, years ago, that this is what we wanted. I played ESO. I had fun with ESO. I got bored with ESO. But to be able to just play Skyrim with my friends, this makes me want to go re-download it on Steam, for sure, and download this mod and try it out. And I think that's fucking dope. Now, I know this mod has been around for quite some time, but might be time to play some more, for sure.
I think it might be time to bring on the bros so I can Vusro dial them or off the cliff.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, let's get into our next story. All right, this next one comes from gamesindustry.biz. Xbox Cloud Gaming is a great alternative to consoles, not a replacement. Samsung and Microsoft tell us how game streaming reached the needed inflection point as they partner on Samsung's gaming hub. No storage limits, no downloads, just bring your controller. That's the promise given by the sizzle reel for Samsung Gaming Hub at its launch event in London on Monday, accompanied by action-packed footage from the likes of Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Fortnite, and more. The hub is an area on Samsung's 2022 smart TVs that offers users access to Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass, NVIDIA's GeForce Now, Google Stadia, Amazon Luma, and even PC subscription services, Utomic? Enabling them to stream games via the cloud right on your TV. In the communications around it, there are references to unlocking gaming for people without a dedicated device. But what indication do these companies have that there is enough demand for such a service? Both Microsoft and Sony have repeatedly said that the demand for their latest consoles is higher than any previous generation. So surely those who enjoy titles shown already own such a device, if not a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X/S, then likely one of their forebears. From our side, we know that there's 3 billion gamers out there around the world, and we know we were talking to the vast majority of those customers today. Bajwa, senior global producer manager at Xbox Game Pass, tells GamesIndustry.biz. I'm so sorry if anybody ever hears me pronounce your names. I apologize. This is a pretty long article now that I'm scrolling through it. I don't look at these beforehand. Basically, the reason and I'll stop it there. Wow, it's a really long article. The two things I wanted to talk about in this was the idea that Xbox is basically saying that, like, consoles will still be a thing, right? Like, you will still be able to get, like down the road, they believe that there will be another Xbox. Maybe not Xbox necessarily, but they don't believe it's a replacement for, like, the PlayStation or your PC or anything like that. They want it as an alternative. They just want to get more people out there. Another thing about this article in general, which all of these will be posted in the description on the YouTube link if you want to read these articles on Sunday when you come in. Once again, you the spamming symbols. I gotta get rid of the Nightbot. All your messages were deleted, and you're the only person in the chat. Fantastic.
Hot stuff. I put a lot of exclamation points because I do have something on this. I know I have not read the article, but I know that there is a lot to go with this, and it is so awesome because now you don't even need a console anymore. You can just buy that crisp new OLED screen from Samsung, and even though that their software is doo-doo butter some of the time, you can actually get in, have your friend couch game, and just go while you're on your PC. This is great. It's like connecting everything, and they are moving in the right direction as far as, and I put this in big quotation marks, very comfortable couch gaming.
Yeah. Have you played anything on, like, cloud gaming, like Xbox cloud gaming?
I have yet to. Like, that's what I feel bad about, because I have yet to actually access that cloud gaming, because, you know, everything, I personally will never go outside like some people do. Like grass? What is that?
Yeah, right.
And
something I have to go cut later.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. But I don't usually use the cloud aspect of it, but it's also because I don't really leave my ecosystem unless I'm, like, dead set on hiking, and I don't see me at the top of the hill after I'm done walking a mile and a half to, like, cloud game on my cell phone.
Oh, that's exactly when I would do it, right? I mean, I have touched on it. I have it on my phone, and it works really well. Like, I think it works really well. I never got to try Stadia. Don't care. Get the fuck out of here. Useless. But I played like 4 different games in my bed the other night using my Backbone controller on my iPhone, cloud gaming. And the only thing I'm upset about with this whole thing with it coming to the new TVs is that it's coming only to the new TVs. This guy right here is a 2021 Samsung fucking TV.
Oh, yeah.
And all I want is the app on there. Like, I have an Xbox here, you know, don't get me wrong, so I can still utilize that. I have this PC that crashes all the time, so I don't play games on it. But the cloud gaming aspect is super exciting because I love being able to play games on the go, and I want to be able to experience a lot of these new games that Xbox will be coming out with. I will not buy a Series X. When I bought that Xbox One that's sitting right there, I don't even think it's not even plugged in. She's not even plugged in. When I bought this, I bought it for a very few specific games. Most of them were canceled, unfortunately. But I will play Starfield when it comes out, and I don't care if it has to be cloud gaming. So I'm hoping that with this coming to the 2022 TVs, that just means the inevitable little dongle or whatever you want to call it that you plug into the back of your other TVs that also gives you access to cloud gaming.
I don't even think you'll have to have a dongle after this.
Well, but you have to buy a 2022 TV. That's the thing, right? Because the app will be on there. But if you don't own a 2022 TV, they're gonna have to offer it to everybody else as well. That's what I'm saying. Because how else would you play it? You need to have if you don't have a smart TV, you have to have a streaming device to be able to, like, watch Netflix.
I'm trying to think. So for right now, of course, we have whatchamacallit. I think this will be the resurgence of the Amazon Fire Sticks and the Roku sticks, if that is the case.
You think they'll just put it on there?
Yeah.
That's what you think?
Like,
yeah.
It is. If they're already having Samsung already show this proof of concept and it's working so well, all they have to do is just beef up that stick. Like, that's all it's gonna take. Or have a stick with a freaking Ethernet connection.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, Xbox will come out with their own version of that. They'll come out with their own Roku stick. That's, you bundle it in and it costs you $70 and you get a controller with it.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That will definitely work, but I will also say that it will probably be like $90.
I mean, I'm just throwing a number out there, obviously, just in general,
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is that most of the high-end, like, 4K streaming sticks are about that price anyway, but Microsoft isn't worried about getting money out of their devices that they sell, hence Game Pass in general, right? So they just want to put it in the hands of every single person they possibly can. So if I can go to a Target and I can pick up the Xbox streaming stick or whatever the fuck you're gonna call it for $100, and I get like another Xbox controller. I mean, not that I need one, but wouldn't you do that? That's $300 less than buying any system. So that sounds fucking awesome to me.
I promise you will always need an extra controller. I don't care how many people say you don't.
I have 2 Xbox controllers that are just gathering dust.
Well then go ahead and buy yourself a third one, because after Elden Ring, I have to go buy another one.
Yeah, but I'm a PlayStation gamer, and I mean, I guess when I look back here, I do have 3 PlayStation controllers. So, okay, moving on. Halo fans rejoice! Legendary Halo 2 E3 demo to be released. This comes from IGN. I don't know anything about this, but we're going to read it here anyway. This comes from Ryan McCaffrey. The Halo caretakers and developers at 343 Industries are making a major piece of lost Halo history playable. The infamous Halo 2 E3 2003 campaign demo that never made it into the final game. We react to this fantastic surprise and recall the Halo 2 hype from that time, plus a plea for proper native Xbox Game Pass support on the Steam Deck. Our thoughts on the potential... this goes into other things besides what we're talking about. So, I know nothing about this, but it sounded super awesome. Because I'm going to have to look this up a little bit later, because a whole demo that wasn't put into the game that they're recreating for... I'm going to assume is going to be in the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah, okay, so I know nothing about this either. But
we're the best at this.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. Very popular opinions here. Only opinions, not actual facts in my brain. But the deal is that this has not been the only resurgence of demos or anything. And it's actually widely popular that a lot of these people are coming out with these demos. I mean, heck, what was it? It wasn't too long ago that we got the original Pokemon Gold and Silver demo that just got released to the public, and people went wild about this. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, no worries.
Send that to you later.
But even so, go on.
But it's just that fact that it's like, oh, you mean that thing that only people had exclusive access to whenever they bought E3 tickets back in the day, and now you're giving it to us? Abso-frickin-lutely.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
People's minds will frickin' blow up as soon as they get their hands on this. And to be quite honest with you, if 343 Studios has the capacity, which they are definitely showing, might as well enjoy it while it's there, and it better be in the Master Chief Collection.
I mean, where else would you put it, right? I mean, like, I mean, even if they, I mean, they're not gonna like release a standalone demo for you to purchase. It'll clearly be free.
Oh, they're gonna put it in the Halo Infinite store.
Oh, yeah.
Right where the color blue is.
Oh, yeah.
Right next to the color blue.
Is anybody still playing Halo Infinite? Because I fell off pretty quickly.
I don't want to talk about that.
All right, we won't talk about that. Maybe next week. Moving on. Speaking of Elden Ring,
Oh no.
GameSpot has reported, this is from Demi Williams, Elden Ring publisher Bandai Namco reportedly hit by a ransomware attack. Bandai Namco, the publisher behind Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and Ace Combat, was reportedly the target of a ransomware attack earlier this month. On Monday, it was reported by Kotaku that the ransomware group ALPHV, alternatively referred to as Black Cat, claimed to have ransomed the Japanese publisher. The news was shared on Twitter on July 11th by VX Underground, a group that monitors malware source on the code. A screenshot attached, it's a tweet, shows the ALPHV ransomware blog where the group tracks its targets. It indicates Bandai is listed under the threat of data soon as of July 11th. Following the reports, GameSpot reached out to the publisher for comment. However, in a new statement posted today, Bandai Namco has addressed the ransomware attack, saying customer data may be at risk. On July 3rd, 2022, Bandai Namco Holdings, Inc. confirmed that it experienced an unauthorized access by third party to internal systems of several group companies in Asian regions, excluding Japan. The statement reads, after we confirm the unauthorized access, we have taken measures such as blocking access to the servers to prevent the damage from spreading. In addition, there is a possibility that customer information related to the toys and hobby business in Asian regions, excluding Japan, was included in the servers and PCs, and we are currently identifying the status about existence of leakage, scope of damage, and investigating the cause. Bandai added that it will continue to investigate the cause of incident and will go on to disclose the investigation results. It also plans on working out external organizations in order to strengthen security throughout the group and take measures to prevent recurrence. Now, I know that wasn't really about Elden Ring, but they made Elden Ring, but it's... Man, these ransomware attacks, I mean, fucking don't people have anything better to do? It just, it sucks for something like that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and give any type of sympathy to a corporation in any way. But when it comes to people's information, like their own data, that sucks, because even these people who are holding this stuff ransom, and I don't know enough about this to really dive into it, but you're hurting people. And that sucks. If you want to attack the fucking money, okay, but you're attacking people's own information and all that. The fact is that besides the actual ransomware attack, I believe, and I'm looking for it right now, there was actually, because again, I really should read these articles before I go for it, but I like to be surprised because I think that makes it a little bit more fun. Let me look up something that I believe was actually leaked.
You want me to spoil it for you?
No, I have it right here.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm pulling up another article from, looks like Win? I'm not sure. Well, there was an Elden Ring leak for DLC.
Yep. That's it.
So this article says it's probably fake. But where is it? It's called Elden Ring Barbarians of the Badlands. So, there was a bunch of other stuff that was potentially leaked. Little Nightmares 3, Armored Core, Code Vein 2, Dragon Ball The Breakers, Dragon Ball Fighters Z Super, Tales of Ascension, One Punch Man, Fighters Association, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth 2, fuck yeah, Tekken 8, and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. If any of these end up being true, it's so awesome. And let's fucking go, dude.
Here's why I think this is true.
Okay, go ahead.
There is nobody. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry. This may be a personal hit.
Oh.
But you would not have a good leak unless you spoiled the Digimon game. There'd be no reason to put the Digimon game in there because nobody is really hype about it.
I mean, I didn't play the first. I love Digimon. I love the old games, but you're right. That's a very good point.
Yeah, if they would have left the Digimon game out, I would have been completely like, you know what? This is probably fake. I need to have the real facts, and then they dropped Digimon too, and I was like,
right.
what?
And there's also like, I mean, like Armored Core is already rumored to be coming out very soon because that's another FromSoft game, and I mean, FromSoft already came out and said that there's going to be another game coming out like really soon, so that doesn't surprise me. The other thing that surprised me about this, 3 different Dragon Ball things. Holy shit!
Yes. Yes.
Like, okay. Xenoverse 3, they're still updating Xenoverse 2. Awesome. I have Dragon Ball Fighters, and I was not good at it, but I fucking adored that game. And I want to know what Dragon Ball The Breakers is, because that sounds awesome as well. But I'm with you on that, man. The fact that they threw in Digimon Story 2 is awesome. And I think that's what gives it validity. I'm going to read this quick, the article that I pulled up. Elden Ring DLC leak probably fake. Here's why. So here's why these people think that it's fake. The Barbarians of the Badland DLC leak for Elden Ring is simultaneously way too soon and way too late, making it most likely fake. The biggest red flag for this leak is the time between the hack and the new release of information. The goal of ransomware hackers is not to spoil upcoming game releases, it's to make money from the company that considers the information sensitive. By immediately releasing information, the hackers would seriously harm their potential payday. The second problem is the release date. The leaked image claims Q3 of 2023, which would mean an 18-month development cycle for Elden Ring DLC. For reference, the first Dark Souls 3 DLC, Ashes of Arendelle, hope I said that right, came out only 8 months after the game launched. Even Ring City released before the game's first anniversary. Okay.
Yes.
I definitely see their points there, for sure. So that does, to a point, make sense. But Elden Ring's a huge game, and I wouldn't mind waiting that time for DLC for it. I don't. If they're actually working on something, it's going to be much bigger than just the like multiplayer or like the PvP things that they've talked about. Because we could probably get that first, and then this comes out Q3 or sooner, right? That's what I would think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it just needs to be that time frame.
Absolutely. So I guess we will just wait and see. But they do make a good point about what the ransomware is and the fact that that came out very soon. That means that they didn't have any luck. All right. Well, that was fun. Let's move on to another one, which this next one, I really got to work on my transitions for these stories. But you know what? We're still winging it, people. Let's go. This next one comes from Kotaku by Luke Plunkett. Skate 4 team asks people to please stop playing leaked early build of the game. This leaked? Oh shit. Wait a minute.
Wait, repeat that. Repeat that for the hearing impaired person that is me.
Skate 4 team asked people to please stop playing leaked early build of the game. I will now read the article. Looks like some people have been enjoying a little more than just early footage of the upcoming Skate 4. While EA continues to keep fans refreshingly up to date on a game that's still a while off, the developers have written a blog post to say there's a limit to that sentiment and to ask folks to please stop playing a leaked build of the game. Turns out that an earlier version of the game leaked earlier this year, and fans have been playing and broadcasting that experience. Wow. Hold on. I'm gonna switch to my Google screen here real quick. Here's a tweet. This is a Skate 4 leaked pre-alpha footage. I'm gonna play it here real quick, just on here. Full screen that, really low quality, but interesting. Not very exciting to see here, but I figured I'd switch to that really quick here. But interesting. I had not actually heard about a leaked of it.
This actually looks pretty good for an alpha.
Yeah. Addressing this, the team wrote a post earlier today that says, "We're aware of an earlier version of the game that has been distributed without our authorization. The build is from September 2021 and was never intended for external use. While we understand you're excited to get into the game, we encourage you to be careful when downloading files from unknown sources and remind you of the potential consequences of breaking EA's terms of service. The best way to get the chance to play is by signing up for Skate. Instead, playtesters..." Get the hell out of here, Snapple ads. That's 2 weeks in a row, Kotaku. "The best way to get the chance to play is by signing up for Skate. Insider playtesting here as we continue to invite more and more players into the game throughout the year." Yeah, wow. I mean, people get so excited about these things. And I mean, I know Skate. I was a Tony Hawk fan. I never actually played the Skate games. I will probably try this new one. But people get so excited and they get stuff and they just go for it. And sometimes that ends up ruining it for a lot of people. And I don't think that they understand that that could ruin it for themselves. Because the fact that, I mean, this was posted by Jeff Grubb, the tweet, who he's a games journalist. So it wasn't him who did it. But these people who get this earlier like this, they might not get to play the game. They broke the terms of service. So if they find out who it is, they will just you won't be able to buy the game.
Oh yeah.
So why would you do this? Just be patient, people. There's so much that goes on in the world, and I mean, we're here to talk about games, but be patient. They are being very upfront. EA, I'm not going to say it's EA in general, but the development team is working on Skate, and the Dead Space remake. They're being so upfront about everything that's coming out with this game, all the stuff that they're showing. We're being transparent. Here's everything. Let's go. But just be patient and wait, and just don't ruin things for people. Let's just get excited when it gets closer to coming out, and we can all enjoy it together. Were you ever a Skate? Did you ever play Skate, Shane?
No, I only watched PewDiePie play it.
Of course, as most of the world did. I did not, but...
Okay. So, me being a Tony Hawk guy, I never heard of Skate. Not even the competitor, because Tony Hawk was just too dang big.
It was Tony Hawk. I mean...
Yeah. It's just so big. Even when, you had all the people playing Tony Hawk, it was just surprising to hear, even from watching PewDiePie's video. I was like, there was a Skate 3?
Right.
And I didn't even know about 1 or 2. And, of course, you've heard the news stories about the fact that PewDiePie and other game streamers brought it back from popularity.
Yes.
That they had to make new copies of Skate 3.
Yes, I did hear that, and that was really exciting to hear about something like that. But, I'm excited for the people who get to play this new one. Everyone's been asking for another Skate for so long. I think the last one came out in 2010. So that's 13 years since that one came out. And for such a widely popular franchise, to wait that long is pretty nuts when you really think about it. And I've seen a little bit about it. I've been hearing about it and reading about... It's not called Skate 4 anymore. It's just called Skate. And it's going to be It's going to be a live service game. But they say it's free to play. So that... I didn't pull up that article, but I heard about that yesterday afternoon on Kinda Funny Games Daily. And... that could be really fun, and I think Tim Geddes said it really well, that I feel like a skating video game, live service, free-to-play, actually would work. I feel like it's the right type of video game that would actually be good for a live service, free-to-play game, similar to Fortnite.
That sounds actually wonderful.
Doesn't it? It really does. And I'm not all for live service games. I don't play much into them. I'm all for cosmetics. I think it's fun. You give me the option to buy something cool, but as long as the game is there and it's fun and there's content to continuously do, skateboarding, this might get me back. Let's go. All right. I have 2 more stories to do before we end the show today. And I think I'm at an hour now, so I'm gonna try to make this next one really quick, but the last one might take a little bit of time. This next one comes from Gaming Bolt. Assassin's Creed Infinity will have a Japan setting. This is a rumor. Recent rumors claim that the next Assassin's Creed game, which is allegedly the smaller-scale stealth-focused Assassin's Creed Rift, would have an Aztec setting, though journalist Jason Schreier was quick to debunk those rumors when he stated that the game is going to be set in Baghdad. Now we may have an idea for what one of the settings in the game after that, Assassin's Creed Infinity, is going to be. Being developed as an ever-evolving live service platform, Assassin's Creed Infinity will allegedly feature multiple games and settings and will keep on adding more over the years. During a recent episode of his Game Mess Decides podcast, that's a really good name, journalist Jeff Grubb stated that based on what he's heard, one of the settings in Assassin's Creed Infinity is going to be in Japan. According to him, the game will also be big open world RPG similar to recent games in the series, and unlike the upcoming Rift, which also aligns with previous reports. Japan has been one of the most heavily demanded settings for Assassin's Creed games for a ridiculously long time. So if this does turn out to be accurate and Infinity has a Japanese setting, either at launch or arriving as a post-launch edition, it would be a big deal for fans of the series. We'll probably hear more about that at the Ubisoft Forward Showcase in September. That's super awesome to me. I love all the Assassin's Creed games. I am done with the RPG era of it. I want to go back to the original settings of how parkour and stealth were just all a part of it. Don't get me wrong, I love Origins. I had so much fun with Odyssey, and I even had a lot of fun with Valhalla, putting like almost over 100 hours into that game, but it's not Assassin's Creed to me. But I hope this does come to pass. I will say that the one thing that in this article that it says it will be a big open world RPG similar to recent games in the series saddens me for sure. But Japan, let's go. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was kind of like that, but give me Japan, Assassin's Creed. I'm ready. Okay, moving on to the last story. And Shane, you will probably, you might have some stuff to say on this one as well. And again, if anybody out there wants to chime in, let me know. This is one of the biggest news. That's not the right article. That's not the right article. Hold on a second. Hold on. I have the wrong article here. Give me 2 seconds.
Technical difficulties.
Not necessarily difficulties. It's just there's a new. Where are you? Fucking A. What's it called? Type right, Ryan. Here we go. This is what I wanted. I'm just going to go to the PlayStation blog for this one, because I pulled up the wrong article. So this is coming straight from the PlayStation blog. Introducing PlayStation Stars, an all-new loyalty program. Set back, because this sounds a little bit exciting, at least to me. I'm going to read the whole article here, then we'll talk about it a little bit before we close out the show for this week. Join for free, complete campaigns, and earn rewards. This comes from Grace Chen, the Vice President of Network Advertising, Loyalty, and Licensed Merchandise at Sony. Throughout our company's 27-year history, we have been continually moved by how meaningful gaming experiences can create fond, lifelong memories for players. All of us at PlayStation take special joy in creating unique products and experiences that delight our fans. This includes everything from consoles and critically acclaimed games, to community challenges such as Seize the Throne and Trico's, to digital and live events including State of Play. Today, I am pleased to reveal PlayStation Stars, a brand new loyalty program that celebrates you, the player, for being on this ever-growing gaming journey with us. PlayStation Stars will be free to join when it launches later this year. Once you become a member, you'll earn rewards by completing a variety of campaigns and activities. Our monthly check-in campaign simply requires you to play any game to receive a reward. While other campaigns require you to win tournaments, earn specific trophies, or even be the first to platinum a blockbuster title in your local time zone. All PlayStation Stars members will have opportunities to earn loyalty points. Points can be redeemed in a catalog that may include PSN wallet funds and select PlayStation Store products. As an additional benefit, PlayStation Plus members enrolled in the PlayStation Stars automatically earn points for purchases on PlayStation Store. Also, as part of PlayStation Stars, we are unveiling a new type of reward called Digital Collectibles. Collectibles are a diverse are as diverse as our portfolio of products and franchises. They are digital representations of things that PlayStation fans enjoy, including figurines of beloved and iconic characters from games and other forms of entertainment, as well as cherished devices that tap into Sony's history of innovation. There will always be a new collectible to earn, an ultra-rare collectible to strive for, or something surprising to collect just for fun. We hope this new program brings to mind past gaming memories while making you excited for the future, while PlayStation commemorating the gaming eras we created together, charting new paths to explore, and bringing players together for global celebrations. This is just the beginning for PlayStation stars, and the program will continue to evolve over time. Awesome. Now, the article that I had up before that I was going to read that I thought was talking about this, these aren't NFTs. They came out right away. I'm like, no. Like, all these digital collectibles and stuff like that, these are not NFTs. You're not going to be able to sell them. You're not going to do anything with that. They're not doing that. There's no blockchain, none of that. So that's really cool. I don't personally care too much about the digital collectibles thing. I'm curious to see what type of rewards you will get if you do complete, like, platinum a blockbuster title in your local time zone first and some other stuff. But the thing that excites me most are the loyalty points. I'm sure that'll take quite a bit to get there, but to just play a video game, earn some type of reward to then get some money for my PlayStation wallet, fuck yeah. After hearing that, what do you think, Shane?
Okay, so I think this is absolutely wonderful. I do believe that they should go this route. And my thought process is, just from hearing this, because this is the first I am hearing of this, and I am actually, like, really interested in it.
Well, rewarding you for playing a game, like I've said that about like trophies and achievements over the years, right? And I think Xbox kind of did something like that with achievements years ago. I can't remember off the top of my head, but like you earn trophies, right, to like for yourself. But if I can earn trophies to earn even just a little something extra, like I get the platinum trophy and you give me $5. That sounds awesome. That means that's getting people to play the game even in just a little bit more of a sense. I like that.
So my thought process on this is that streaming service, or, basically Game Pass for PlayStation.
Yep, PlayStation Plus Premium.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus Premium. Is this going to be allowed as far as that system goes? Because I would love to play a game to completion, get the points that I would need, and then turn around and say, yes, I really like this game. And then you use your points to buy the game that you either finished, or you go buy a game that is not on the pass at that current point in time, and you buy that in place, so that way that can be your next game to play. I
don't see why not, because like any game, even on the PlayStation Plus stuff, if you go through it a little bit, like you can still purchase the game. You can just also have it for free if you have that subscription service. So, if they actually do give you a reward that includes points or money or anything of the sort, I don't see why that wouldn't be a thing. Even if you had to wait until it fell off of the PlayStation Plus service, because if you have it, right, you get it for free to play, and then whenever it disappears from it, you could then go buy it. But I don't see why that would be an issue.
I do believe that this is the course of action, and as a gamer where my time is very limited, especially, I work my 12-hour shifts at my factory job.
Yep.
And I either choose the PC or the PC most of the time. But this would get me back into, a lot of the PlayStation stuff too, because as you know, I haven't really touched my PlayStation, and I just bought the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro pack on Steam. Like it's me finding more of a harder time to get into the PlayStation stuff, and this would get me back into the PlayStation stuff for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm definitely just a PlayStation person for the most part. I mean, I have everything, and I jump around a lot, but I just like the idea of like, oh, I'm going to go jump into this game and I'm going to go earn that trophy real quick because they're offering $10 if you do it by this time. You know, there's little things in that. And again, we'll see what happens when it does launch. I'm sure we'll get a lot more information about what types of these rewards will be. I'm curious about the digital collectibles. I mean, they say they're not NFTs. It sounds like it, but without like the blockchain or the selling and all that type of stuff. But what am I going to do with a digital collectible? Where does that go? What do I do with it? So we'll just have to wait and see what that all entails. But I think this is really exciting, and I cannot wait. That is all the articles I have. I just really quick, I do this at the end of every show. I quickly go and see if there's any breaking news while I refresh. I mean, the breaking news is that I got the Jotnar edition pre-ordered for God of War. Let's see if there's anything else new here, and it does not.
I would love to see a breaking news on that subject to see how fast and if it is already completely sold out.
Well, here's the thing, and I'll tell you, it went quick because like the pre-orders went live in America on the PlayStation Store at 9 o'clock this morning, my time. Or I mean, well, not 9 o'clock, but yeah. They were sold out immediately. I was on the website refreshing, and they were sold out immediately. I went to Best Buy, Target, back to PlayStation Direct. I was on Amazon. I was all over. Remember, it took me an hour to get one. So they were, I believe that they're probably all sold out at this point. But no new news has that I think is necessary to bring up at this moment in time. So Shane, thank you so much for joining me this week. I'd love to have you on again at any other point, and I also would love to get more people to enjoy and talk about games on this show that we do week to week. If you guys know that we do this every Friday, or at least I try to. You can also check it out on YouTube on Sundays, because this was GameWare Weekly, a game that we stream on Fridays, release on Sundays for all the stuff you probably heard on Monday. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Boop.